The Tomo Kazusa special issue that was originally supposed to be Ensemble's main article. But at some point, it turned into a special issue boasting over 100 pages. Even though I'm receiving help from the professionals, this is pretty much a magazine of its own. Though it's worth celebrating because this is the first big project I've taken part in. The deadline is the end of February. The release will be in the beginning of March. A rather tight deadline established in order to not miss out on the Tomo Kazusa craze.
All thanks to me.
Well, I can't deny that. And right now, the woman on the cover is making fun of me right to my face. She made me wash her face and body just earlier. Then she described the curry I made again for her as terrible after all. And right now, she's making me change her bandages.
To think that the first book you'll write is going to be a special number on me.
The only reason they gave me this job was because I happened to be a former classmate of Tomo Kazusa. The swelling on her left hand is mostly gone, so I just left her wrist supporter on. Now I'm disinfecting the wound on her right hand. The reason they made me a regular employee from a part-timer in the first place is because of the article I wrote about your runner-up victory in the international contest.
Oh,
Hey, don't move.
then be more gentle yourself. Every movement you make stings.
Bear with it. You did this to yourself. She relies on me for everything. Yet her attitude goes beyond just complaining. The spoiled Kazusa is back. The selfish Kazusa is back. Her vigor has come back to life.
What a cruel remark. You're talking to your benefactor.
I wouldn't go that far.
From what I just heard, all your success in your career are undoubtedly due to me, right?
That's wrong. You were just the catalyst.
So, are you going to stand here and say that your employment in that publishing company and your pretension of being an editor is all due to your own ability?
That's wrong too. The reason I made it so far up is due to a certain person.
A certain person?
Feeling happy that Kazusa is starting to go back to normal, I counter her complaints like usual. When I was a part-timer, there was this senior who watched over me. That senior gave me the task of writing the article about you, and they were the one who recommended me to the editing department. And as I do that, I begin to talk about myself. That senior was still young, yet so talented. And strict, too. Come to think of it, in the past, didn't Kazusa call me annoying because of this habit? Not to mention cool and courageous, and even incredibly beautiful, too.
Was it a woman?
She's now working at a subsidiary in the States. There's a rumor that she'll become the chief editor and return eventually. If I remember correctly, the thing that annoyed her the most was...
Did you love her?
Hey, don't get jealous indiscriminately.
Well, excuse me.
I was just joking.
Don't pass it off as a joke.
Thinking back, maybe that really was the reason. When I was talking about myself, there was a moment where Kazusa looked particularly annoyed.
How do you expect me to remain calm when you're making me listen to a story about a woman I don't know?
Anyway, I'd just like you to listen to her sing, just once. I'm sure that would change your mind. That was when I talked about Setsuna, a girl she didn't know back then. Come to think of it, the way she spoke, the way she carried herself, was a bit similar to you.
Did you see me in her?
Wait, does that mean...
Did you like her because she was like me?
Kazusa must have felt conscious about me pretty early on, right? I did indeed like her, but that's not because she was like you, you know.
Fuck you.
Don't strain your hands. What if your wound opens?
Shut up.
In my headcanon, she just flipped him off. And then, with her hand free from the bandages for the first time in a while, she comes at my hand with her nails. Let go of me. I can't wrap the bandage like this.
Like I care.
It's not just her nails. Even her fingertips feel hard as rock. This part of her body alone is completely lacking in femininity. But that's precisely why they're so precious. I have no choice but to watch these fingertips dig into the back of my hand. The wound will become infected, you know. It'll fester, and pus will gush out of your wrist.
Whatever. I'll deal with it when it happens.
No matter how much I joke around, Kazusa will only respond in dead seriousness right now. This situation is almost identical to the time of our reunion, but Kazusa is almost like a completely different person from back then. Perhaps in a sense, she has transformed into the real Toma Kazusa. How do you plan on making a living without the tools of your trade?
That has nothing to do with you, now does it?
I never thought you were really this stupid. That's why I have no choice but to respond to her in a tasteless and ugly manner.
Do you think I'm stupid?
Of course I do. These two hands of yours don't belong to only you anymore.
What if I said that? There's someone more important to me than these hands.
Because her attitude is so half-assed. I have no choice but to accept any fastballs she throws at me. My only response was that my heart skipped a beat, and it was difficult for me to breathe.
You really hadn't realized? I don't think I've been trying to hide that fact from you. Though.
You're just deluding yourself. You're just overly romanticizing your memories. We're both getting excited over a misunderstanding because we've met each other after 5 long years.
Are you feeling excited too?
Putting all her power into her pitch, not worrying about appearances, she manages to catch me off guard, using my own words against me. You'll forget about me. If you let some time pass and calm down, you'll forget about someone like me.
How am I supposed to forget about a man in a few days when I couldn't forget about him for 5 years?
Kazusa!
I've told you this countless times, haven't I? If you want me to forget so badly, then you should take the initiative.
There is no room for doubt anymore. Right now, Kazusa is unquestionably a woman in my eyes. Right now, Kazusa is unquestionably a woman in my eyes.
If you would only tell me that you hate me.
Stop.
If you would only tell me that you don't want to see my face again. You could look down on me and laugh.
Stop it. Stop.
If you did that, I might be able to forget.
That's enough already. I don't even want to imagine that. No matter how much I try to escape with my words, I can't let go of the hand I'm holding.
Haruki, you're a cruel man. You're cruel to both Setsuna and me.
At some point, Kazusa's fingers entwined around mine, but I can do nothing but pretend not to notice.
It's not what it means to be kind, you know? That's nothing but the selfishness of a man.
I understand. I understand that. I can't even grasp back the fingers entwining around mine. Even if she puts her other hand over them, even if she then rests her forehead on our hands.
Those are the actions of a terrible person who only appears good on the surface. A person who's pretentious, greedy, and who just wants to think of himself as a good person.
I've always known that I'm a terrible person. That's why it's only natural if people hate me.
I'm telling you that the way you expect others' feelings to change is what makes you so terrible. You're terrible, Haruki. That's why there's no way I could hate you.
Even if I feel the warm and soft sensation of her lips on the back of my hands. Good evening. Kazusa has calmed down a bit. She has started eating again. She has also started to let me treat her hands. Although, as expected, she still won't talk to me properly. That will probably take a bit more time to solve. Kazusa is a bit weak-hearted right now. Due to what happened with the concert, her homesickness, and, well, a lot of other things, she's become unable to restrain her feelings. That's why I can't tell her directly yet. I'm sorry for not being resolved. I'm sorry for making you suffer countless times over countless days. Well then, I'll talk to you tomorrow. P.S. My new project has been decided on. They're going to let me write an entire issue. Though, I think you can imagine what it's about. You might even have a bad feeling about it. It's the bi-monthly ensemble special issue. That is to say, a special number on Toma Kazusa. I do think that it's beyond my means. Most likely, I didn't get this job because of my hard work and sheer ability. But even then, this is my chance. I still want to give it my all. Hello, Kidahara speaking. Yes. No, not at all. It's been a while, Youko-san. February 1st, Friday.
I'm sure Miyoko-san is angry.
Well, of course she is. The next morning, once I told Kazusa that I had gone out of my way to contact her office, she started complaining a lot, as expected. Once I finally told her that it's about time she dropped by the office, she started grumbling, which made me an hour late for work.
Hey, what kind of excuse should I tell them?
Well, I suppose you have to be honest. If you show sincerity, I'm sure they will too.
So I should tell them I was dumped by a man and felt so shocked that I lost my ability to think rationally?
Hey. No, I'm actually still in the middle of being late for work right now.
You told me to be honest. That happens to be my truth.
You don't have to be that honest, do you? Besides, you had a fever to begin with, so you can just honestly tell them that you were sick and bedridden.
My fever, my injury, and my being bedridden was all because you didn't come to my concert.
Fine already. Everything's my fault, Your Highness.
How? Hey, do it in a straight line. You're terrible at this.
I wouldn't want to be compared to a hairstylist. Kazusa's beautiful long hair slips through my brush. Just by lifting a single strand of hair, I can see the sunlight reflected in it. And, like water, it flows smoothly down my palm. A work of art whose peculiarity is that it has no peculiarity. If someone asked me what the greatest accomplishment of the genius pianist Youko is, I'd undoubtedly pick this hair and the woman it's attached to.
Besides, even if I did drop by, there's nothing to talk about.
What will you do about your additional concert?
What will I do about it, I wonder? After all, I can't imagine myself playing the piano at all right now.
Do you even consider yourself a professional? I wonder what her fans would think if they heard her say that. This fickle genius whose ability and determination are completely disproportionate. I can't feel anything but the deepest sympathy towards the people who found themselves charmed by this irresponsible pianist. That includes me.
I did until Christmas last year. Back then, I told myself that the piano was all I had. That's how I managed to make money playing the piano. 10 hours every day, without skipping a day. I sucked it up and did my best.
I'm sorry.
Not yet. You should apologize for what I'm about to say next. All of that was ruined by you, Haruki.
In other words, this person isn't the young and energetic pianist Kazusa. She's the delinquent girl in Class 3A of Hojo High, for whom being late and sleeping in class is something natural. A girl 5 years behind the times, still struggling against society. I couldn't see through her exterior. I simply saw her as my crush. I never knew that the girl of back then was so fixated on me.
Right now, I have no reason to play in Japan anymore. I don't feel a thing at the mention of an additional concert.
Why are you saying that? I know that's not how you truly feel, so don't force yourself to act reckless.
It has nothing to do with you, Haruki. You have nothing to do with me at all.
How many times are you going to make me say it? Don't put your piano and me on the same level. The scales are far too unbalanced.
And how many times are you going to make me say it? The one who gets to make that judgment is me, not you.
Kazusa.
Obviously, you don't get to decide your own value. If you can't accept me, then just shut up.
I remember Setsuna saying something similar to him. Isn't your perspective far too narrow? Isn't your world far too small?
There are people feeling grateful about the performance of a pianist who has no interest in anything. It's a mockery of art, isn't it? I wish everyone would open their eyes. Don't they know that I'm completely unqualified? There is no reason to come see me play at all.
Well, you're hot. That's the reason a lot of people are coming. Seriously, what an immature person. 5 years have passed, and she has entered adulthood. Yet, for some reason, she has only become more and more like an unmanageable child. How did this immature person ever manage to express herself so well? It really is a mockery of art. You can go the rest of the way alone, right? Tomoyoko Office PLC is around a 10-minute walk from Nishi-Onjuku Station. It's located on the 3rd floor of a rather small building. The office is a bit underwhelming considering who it belongs to, but since their actual base of operations is overseas, this shouldn't be too much of a hindrance. Apparently, Kudo-san is the only employee working there on a regular basis, routinely managing any domestic affairs. In other words, her job left her with a lot of free time until last year. However, these past few months, I'm sure she's been overwhelmingly busy. In fact, she even picked up the phone in seconds when I called her in the middle of the night. Kazusa? And the moment we reached that building, Kazusa's feet became glued to the ground for a good 5 minutes. She was a bit more confident about this when she was first called to the faculty room. Should I come inside with you after all?
I'll go. I'll go and get scolded alone.
I see.
I might even get fired. She might even sue me for damages.
That obviously won't happen. Anyway, open the door and then bow your head right away. After that, shout out your apology. When Kazusa turned on her phone for the first time in days this morning, the amount of missed calls from her office exceeded 3 digits. In the end, the bombardment of missed calls was the decisive blow that made Kazusa come here. Even now, that very bombardment of missed calls is what's making Kazusa unable to move forward.
Hey, Haruki, if I really were to get fired, if I really were to lose the only place I belong,
I'll be a bit late today. I have an appointment with someone in the evening. I don't know when I'll be home.
Is that so?
Her bitter reply is probably not because of me coming home late, but because I interrupted what she was about to say. She was able to grasp the fact that I didn't want to listen to the rest of what she had to say, and that I consequently ran away from those words. Also, about dinner?
It's probably Setsuna anyway. Oh, it's only normal to meet with your girlfriend on the weekends. Why are you trying to hide it? How ridiculous.
Kazusa's anger seems to run pretty deep. She's not only sulking, but is even firing back at me with good precision. I'll be back before the date changes for sure. I'll make you something to eat, so wait for me.
I don't really mind. You can sleep over if you want. Or perhaps I should leave the apartment for tonight?
I said I'd be back.
Spending the night alone every now and then might be good for me. Without you around, I can cry to my heart's content.
Like I said, stop saying things like that. And like that, her attack against me ends up dealing twice the damage to herself. I bear witness to a spectacular self-destruction. This is precisely why I can't leave her by myself. I'll definitely be back sometime today. I'll call you no matter what happens, so wait for me.
Haruki.
Anyway, apologize properly, okay? You can put the issue of the additional concert on hold for now. You can take your time to think about it tonight. Bye then. See you tonight. When she took a step back, and even when she turned around, Kazusa's uneasy gaze did not look away from me. In truth, I really do want to go with her. I'm so worried I can't bring myself to take my eyes off her. But even so, I have to do it today. It's for Kazusa's sake as well.
It's probably Setsuna anyway.
The reason I was at a loss for words wasn't because she was right on the mark. It was actually the opposite. I was feeling relieved that Kazusa hadn't realized I was meeting up with her. Good morning, it's Kitahara. I can't carry Kazusa's burden alone anymore. The idea that I should carry it was mistaken in the first place, because I rejected Kazusa. I'm the one who hurt her more than anyone in the world. I'm the worst offender in the world. Kazusa just entered the office. So, where should I go, Youko-san? That's why I need to rely on the person Kazusa needs more than anyone. Suetsugo? Oh, so you're in the neighborhood? Yes. The person who has watched over her for the past 5 years. And by extension, also the past 20 years. The person who understands her the best. Please say that again? The only person in the world right now who can support her moving forward. Where did you just say you were? Our first meeting after a dozen or so hours happened in front of Minami Suetsugo Station, 5 minutes away from our apartment.
Why are you here before me? You said you didn't know when you would be home.
Because it's 10 o'clock already. Most likely, after seeing me wave to her with a tired expression on my face, Kazusa accepted it with a bit of astonishment.
Since when have you been waiting?
I just got here.
Really?
I have no reason to lie to you, or to wait for you. What an outright lie. I'm sure Kazusa would see through me straight away if she touched my ice-cold hands. After all, I came to this place a mere 2 hours ago. I first returned to my apartment, and after ascertaining that Kazusa wasn't home yet, I turned back and came straight here. Let's go home then. You're hungry, right?
Kinda. You ordered me to never eat out after all. I'm sure there's a grand feast awaiting me.
You're fine with something simple, right? Hunger is the best sauce, right? All that just so I could spend 5 minutes longer with Kazusa. Then, yeah, I've decided.
Actually, I had made up my mind from the start.
I see. Apparently, Kazusa bowed her head and apologized the moment she opened the door, just like I told her to. After that, Kazusa's worry was proven wrong, and my prediction was proven right. Not only did she not get fired, but Kudo-san was so worried that she cried, which made Kazusa feel more guilty about her than me. After that, they talked about all sorts of things for hours. She made the decision about her future with her own will. She talked about how she'll resume practice immediately after her injury heals, and that the additional concert will proceed as planned.
I'm sure it'll be a disaster. I haven't practiced enough, and my motivation is the worst.
That's from Kazusa's perspective, and from the perspective of someone looking at this objectively. That is all my fault, as a matter of fact, because a certain person said the exact same thing, setting aside whether they were being objective or not.
But that's my true strength right now. I'll face it head on.
Kazusa. Until yesterday, no, whenever we two were alone, Kazusa kept pouring out every emotion in her heart. When she was thrown out of the narrow world where only she and I exist, she did her best and has splendidly managed to make herself appear as someone grand.
To be honest, my feelings still aren't in order at all.
Seeing Kazusa like that made a thought flash across my mind. Perhaps having me around isn't actually the best thing for Kazusa.
But, as I thought, right now, I'm causing those around me far too much trouble.
Perhaps all my actions are motivated by self-satisfaction. Perhaps Kazusa really is fine on her own.
Youko-san, the staff working at the concert, the eccentric sponsors who try to make money through me, and then there are even more eccentric people who actually come and listen to me play the piano.
Perhaps the feeling of loneliness welling up in my heart is the primary and only reason I can't let go of Kazusa.
And also, Setsuna.
And also, Setsuna. Perhaps I am doing the wrong thing. Perhaps I'm only making Kazusa suffer for nothing in the mere pursuit of finding peace in my heart. However,
I don't feel bad for Mom and you, Haruki, just so you know, because we're even now.
Youko-san is...
She's still enjoying herself in some hot springs, you know, neglecting her own daughter like always.
Most likely, the reason Kazusa interrupted me is because she thought I was about to defend Youko-san.
Well, whatever. I'll have her repay me threefold. I'll continue to cause her endless trouble.
She's not wrong in a sense, but right now, it's impossible for Kazusa to perceive my intention 100%. Hey, Kazusa, what is it? I get that you love your mother, but you shouldn't put all the burden on Youko-san. What else am I supposed to do? Half of my world until now was just decimated. Like I keep telling you, try to broaden your horizons already. And right now, it's impossible for me to convey my intentions to Kazusa 100%. It's not just Youko-san, but your staff, your friends, even your fans. There are tons of people who like you. That's why, right now, I can't utter anything but laughable truisms.
People can look forward to me at their own leisure, but it's not like there is anything for me to look forward to.
You don't have to sound so lonely. Kudo-san is a good person, right? And there's even the Shibata family.
I like both Miyoko-san and Shibata-san, but once the concert ends, I'll never see them again.
Then, even in Vienna, there must be people who like you.
Don't give me instructions. You're the one who made it impossible for me to stay in Japan.
Not only is the truism laughable, but it also manages to hurt Kazusa.
What would you know?
Tomo, Youko, and I were connected before I was even born. Despite that, Kazusa persists.
Tomo Youko is the person who shows me the way forward. That's how it's been ever since I was a child.
Even in a situation where she would have broken down crying normally. She glares at me intently from the side and rejects my reasoning with a harsh tone. It's true that for a period of time we lost sight of each other,
but even that was a mistake born out of consideration for the other.
Wasn't it you who told me that? Even when she rejects my words, she also affirms them. Even when she acts strong, she also relies on me. And even though I can't be allowed to feel happy about that tenacity of Kazusa, I can't stop these feelings from welling up in my chest.
That's why I'll walk alongside that person from now on too. And one day, I'll surpass her. Because, to me, Tomo Youko is my goal, my teacher, my rival. She's everything to me.
I can still remember the day I first heard her say that. Right before the school festival, in the Tomo residence's basement studio. Kazusa became delirious with fever, and I seem to remember her telling me things she never would have said normally.
I just returned to the past. That's all.
And it's been 5 years since then. That's why. And as expected, the only person Kazusa can open her heart to right now is me.
This time, I'll definitely disappear from your sight.
Kazusa did her best. She endured as much as she could. And now that she has done her utmost effort,
there is no point in me being here anymore.
What am I supposed to do?
Having you treat the wound that you gave me yourself isn't going to heal it.
Even if she manages to hide it until the concert. What about after the concert?
Not only will they not heal, they will only give me further wounds. Every time you treat me with kindness, They grow in number.
Can I really set this woman aside?
That's why I'm going to get this concert over with and return to Vienna.
Can I let her go? Can I leave her alone?
I'm going to discharge myself from the Kitahara hospital. I'm going to slowly heal my wounds over time at home. I'll return to my normal, peaceful life where I'm not tempted by an awful man like you.
Kazusa!
Haruki.
Can I abandon this woman? Do your best. Do your best, Kazusa. Do your best.
Stop it. This will only make the pain worse later.
This is your rematch. Show Japan just how amazing you are.
This is too much. You're putting me in a limbo. You'll only make me feel hurt again.
What's wrong with encouraging my friend? What's wrong with that?
But I haven't given up at all, you know.
I put my arm around Kazusa's shoulder.
I can't act like normal right now, but I'll start crying once I'm alone, you know.
Having her body forcibly pulled into my chest, Kazusa twists around in resistance. But the force she puts into that resistance isn't her whole strength. Kazusa's indecision and her slight happiness is conveyed to me. That's why I don't falter at the sound of Kazusa's crying and gradually put more strength into my arm.
Besides, what will you do if someone sees us?
I won't do anything.
What if Setsuna sees us?
I said I won't do anything. I don't plan on hiding this.
Haruki.
The thing Kazusa is worried about is completely irrelevant to me right now. Because we're outside. It's precisely because there's a chance someone might see us that I can touch Kazusa like this. If we return to my apartment with just the two of us, if I knew that no one can question my actions, I wouldn't have been able to stop myself.
You really are a cruel person.
Probably.
It's useless after all.
Kazusa's resistance melts away.
Even though you rejected me, even though you made it clear I don't have a chance.
The force within her that tried to get away from me flips around and is instead used to press her body against my chest.
Despite that, I can't contain my happiness when you embrace me like this.
The happiness she concealed inside bursts out.
Having you spoil me, then acting tough, then getting excited. I'm becoming such an overbearing woman.
It's okay, for this moment alone.
For crying out loud. Damn it. Why?
And the moment she gets my permission, both her happiness and sadness gush out at once.
Even though I love you this much, why won't anything work out?
I'm sure the people living in the neighborhood can hear her, despite the fact that Kazusa was afraid of being seen by someone earlier. She's completely open about having her feelings heard by anyone right now.
Do you hate me that much? Do you reject this overbearing woman, Haruki?
I would never say that. I've never said that.
I bet you haven't. Because you were waiting for me, right? In truth, you have been waiting for me in front of the station all this time, right?
I wasn't waiting.
Don't lie. Your hands are so cold after all. You were outside by the station all this time, weren't you?
I said I wasn't waiting. With my hand still around her shoulders, I can feel Kazusa's hand on top of mine. Kazusa rests her cheeks upon the space between our touching hands. Kazusa's palm is warm, but her cheek is as cold as my hand. That's why I desperately hold on to my other arm. That's why I desperately hold down my other arm and avoid embracing Kazusa with both arms. I can't say anything yet. I can't allow her to realize it. My true feelings. And Youko-san's true feelings. At least, I can't until the concert is over. That is what I promised her.
They say it's leukemia.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Youko has leukemia? I guess that would explain why she was away so much. Does Kazusa know? If she doesn't, then when she does find out, it would be a devastating blow. It could even destroy Kazusa.